Hi guys. So in this video, I want to tell you why you should be delusional, how you can be delusional, and how to make delusion your best friend. Because trust me, if you want to really win in the modern world, you're going to have to be delusional. Things have changed. Now, when I say delusion, please let's separate delusion from stupidity. And you're going to really know that if you watch this video. So let's talk about why you need to be delusional. But before I do that, I want to introduce you to a concept of outliers. Let's take the athletes, the pro athletes, the successful ones. And if you notice, according to Malcolm Gladwell, a good number of them were born in the early part. I mean, what that means is their birthdays were March, January, February. Now, you may wonder, why does it have to be so? Now, let's take it. They were born in the early part of the year, and some other people were born 9 months before them. So when these guys start their athlete or professional life, because they'll be grouped by the year, most likely, you have people who are 9 months ahead of them, who are most likely bigger than their counterparts. So what's the next thing they do? The smaller people look at the bigger people, and because of that size difference, may begin to form some form of low self-esteem. And what happens? The guy with the higher self-esteem, not really higher self-esteem, but he has a higher self-esteem, begins to play better than the smaller ones. Then the coach realizes that he's playing better. The coach begins to praise him, which also increases his self-esteem, and he puts in more effort into his game. Now, without more effort, he's playing better. He's being placed in more critical positions in the game, and other people are passing the ball to him more often than to the rest, which is giving him more opportunity to score. With the more opportunity to score, the more he's praised, the more he's welcomed, and the more award he wins. And all these things compound into him becoming a professional athlete. Now, let's bring it back. If those guys, the smaller guys, had very good self-esteem, to say, you know what, he might be 9 months older than me, but I bet you I could basically match him up in terms of physical prowess. And trust me, it is very, very possible. Now, if he's performing well, and the coach sees that this guy is fast, regardless of his size, the coach begins to praise him. He begins to move faster, he begins to train better. They begin to put him in places that have critical positions, and he's scoring more. But all this happened because he ignored his 5 senses. He refused to say, this guy is bigger than me, and then therefore I should give him the ball. So, and this is how most people think, which is they think through their 5 senses, which is a very big mistake. It has a sense of faultiness in it. So it goes like this. Somebody thinks through his 5 senses, and that is thinking. His thinking affects his actions. His actions actually go ahead to create a result. Now, this current result is fed back into his 5 senses, and before you know it, it forms a cycle of just repeating and repeating itself. That's why most people never go far in life. Apologies. And we see this in the business world. And which is the core foundation of this idea of setting smart goals. And please, I may not have achieved much, but I think smart goals is not the way to actually go in life. Because what happens is, it tells you to start from where you are in life and set little goals. Little goals that may not really be joyful in life. But if you look at people who we really, really admire, none ever set smart goals. That's why I tell people it's dangerous to follow a lot of these content creators. But like I said, smart goals, they sound rational. But the people who we really, really like did not take it rational. When Steve Jobs says he wants 1 million people to have computers in their homes, he was not rational. When Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, he was not rational. When the Wright brothers, who were high school dropouts, invented the plane, They were not rational. They were dumb, they were delusional. So let's get into the steps on how can be delusional. The first step is to ask yourself, what do you really, really, really want? What do you want? Now, this is the most tricky part because you have to ignore your five senses. You have to ignore them. Because when you're in a place like maybe, say, in a third world country, and you want to have a net worth of, say, $1 million, you're going to ask yourself, you're going to have all that doubt. Like, that $1 million sounds outrageous. It's not possible. Where do you start from? Where do you start from? The second part of it is you have to create a plan. Now, this is very tricky because most people will try to plan out everything month after month, quarter after quarter. But plans only work when you are given a set of variables that are fixed. Guess what? The only constant thing we have is change. So what that means is we live in a very dynamic environment. Things are changing, things are not moving according to plan. So what do we do? Like I said, the idea of a plan is to convince yourself, your conscious mind. Things will always change, but you have to stay flexible with your plan. The third thing now is to act, is to take action. And mind you, when you're acting, you are going to face a lot of failures, regardless. It took Steve Jobs about 5 years to achieve that 1 million sales of the computer. I can't remember if it was a Mac or something, but it took him over 5 years. It took Thomas Edison about 10,000 iterations to invent the light bulb. I don't know how long it took the Wright brothers, but they failed and they kept on moving. This is not a way of motivating yourself. It's not. Now, the last aspect, and all these things, if you probably notice, he says that you should do something, which is believe, which is the key word, that all these three things will assist you in getting. Now, there are other techniques to make you believe in your dreams. We have meditation, we have affirmations, but that's not the point of this video. In summary, have a goal, something that you know is not dependent on your five senses. Create a plan and take action regardless. It is the action that separates the delusional people from the stupid people. And we see this a lot where we see people who want to achieve a certain goal without actions, without making sacrifices, or without anything that looks like a plan. That is pure stupidity. Like we said, so wrapping up this video, I've told you how you can be delusional. I've told you about the caution. And the last thing I will say is, being delusional is not about denying reality. It's about saying that, no, I think I know what has happened already, but I want to create a future. I want to determine what happens in my future. So it goes like this. You have a goal, you have a dream, something you want to achieve. Now, this will form the basis of your thinking at a period. Now, the way you think influences the way you act, and the way you act influences your results. Now, it is this feedback, which is it is the feedback of results to thinking again that will have to come over time, which you will have to you have to keep being delusional about. That is where the delusion gap comes in between feedback and thinking. So that's it. Like I said, being delusional is not a way of escaping reality. It's a way of creating what you think can be, not what you think it is already. So thank you very much. Please kindly share my video with somebody who you think will find this movement valuable. And the idea of this movement is to be on our own self-improvement journey towards the goal, towards the mission, where our results get to inspire other people. And by inspiring other people, we take responsibility for ourselves and those around us. And that is the only way I think society can become better. When the individual sees a need to take up responsibility for himself and those he has sworn to be responsible for. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and bye for now.